Hello everyone, I'm Stephanie Tsai in New York and welcome to this edition of Money Matters. Starting a small business on your own can be a bit frightening. It's the main reason why many new entrepreneurs find that partnerships are the best way to go. Joining us now with more on this is small business expert and author of You Can Still Win, Andre Taylor. Andre, always good to see you.
Good morning, Stephanie.
So a partner can share the risk and workload as well as lend some moral support, of course, but what exactly makes a good partnership?
Well, a good partnership really is about having someone that has the knowledge, has the connections, has the capital, who can contribute to the business and really make it easier for you to be successful. When you start a business, you really have to think about all of the elements associated with really making that successful for a long time. And part of that is making sure that you're in a position that the person you select can lend the moral support, can make it easy for you to take off if you want, can potentially be a mentor, a motivator. There's a lot involved in having a great partner.
Okay, so we're going to get into the most important factors to consider when picking the right person to go into business with. What do you need to consider?
Well, I think you need to consider all of the elements associated with making that business successful. One of the issues associated with a business, of course, is what's going to happen day to day. Can you do it all yourself? Do you need someone who can contribute to that? Is this the person that you're going to really trust? Is this a person who has the same energy and stamina and enthusiasm to sort of make this work? Are you selecting a friend, or are you selecting someone who has the same entrepreneurial zeal?
What are some of the main things business partners should agree on before joining forces?
Well, it's particularly important that when you're starting a business, you actually work out a partnership agreement. It's actually called Articles of Partnership. And what you want to do there is you want to decide who's going to do what, who's going to play what role. You're going to also find out who is going to contribute what capital, and what happens when there are disagreements. Because when there are partnerships, there's always a potential that there will be a disagreement. You also want to work out things like how capital is used in the business, who gets paid what, and when you get paid. So there's a lot of things to decide beforehand.
What about how much each partner brings to the table financially speaking? Should that also be in that agreement?
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes a partner will bring substantial capital, and in other cases a person might bring substantial capabilities. So it's important really to think about what it is specifically that a partner is going to bring and make sure that it's clear so that as you move forward there isn't disagreement about whether a person is fulfilling their commitment.
Now, I imagine even if you go through all the steps for picking the right business partner, it's likely at some point there will be disagreements. And what's the best way to deal with that when it occurs?
Well, the best way to deal with a disagreement, frankly, is to be honest about where you are. One of the benefits of having a partnership agreement is that you can actually spell out how disagreements are handled. Very often it's a matter of just coming to the table and being honest about where you are. Sometimes these things mushroom and turn into something that is much more significant. It's very possible that you will need arbitration in some cases, and because what happens often when there are disagreements is your positions may harden. So I think one of the best solutions there is to quickly address it, to be honest about it, and to do what you can to talk honestly about what the situation is.
I want to go back to something you alluded to earlier, which is whether when you're choosing a business partner, you should choose a friend or somebody who has your same business mind. Is it a good idea to get into business with a friend or a family member, for example?
There's nothing wrong with getting into business with a friend or a family member as long as you both have the same strategic objectives. You should not select a business partner because they're a friend or a family member. You should select them because they will contribute to the business in a significant way. You know, when you're starting a business, you have to really think about what is it we're looking to accomplish here? What do we want to accomplish out there in the market? What do we want to accomplish personally? How are we going to run the business? What does this mean to us to be successful? It's very possible that as the business advances that you'll be distracted by a number of things, but if you have those things laid out initially, it'll be much easier for you to be successful and much easier for you to have a thriving partnership.
What are the signs that a partnership is no longer working, Andre?
Well, you know, a partnership is no longer working when you are concerned about whether or not your partner is fulfilling their end of the bargain. And sometimes you can mistrust your partner and not be honest about that. Sometimes you can feel like you're carrying a load that the partner isn't carrying. Sometimes, frankly, the business may not be successful.
And how do you get out of a bad partnership?
Well, that's one of the things that should be in a partnership agreement. Everything should, in a partnership agreement, you should actually have the details on how to wind down a business. It might mean selling the assets and distributing the proceeds, or it might simply mean saying, look, this doesn't work anymore. We're going to walk away from this and shut this down.
Yeah, kind of like having a prenuptial agreement for a marriage,
Exactly.
I suppose. All right, some really interesting advice. Small business expert Andre Taylor. As always, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Stephanie.
And in today's TechBytes, Verizon stops taking pre-orders for the iPhone. Less than 24 hours after going on sale, the carrier has blown through its allotment. Verizon also says it now has the right to slow down service for data hogs who slow down its network. One thing subscribers may not have to worry about, though, dropped calls. USA Today's Ed Baig says the Verizon iPhone lives up to the hype.
The key differentiator is the network, Verizon versus AT&T. I didn't experience any drop calls testing the iPhone in northern New Jersey and here in New York City.
The Super Bowl will be played this Sunday, but the web has already picked the winner. According to Social Radar, online buzz in the month before the big game has accurately predicted the winning team for the last 4 years. So who's going to win this year? Well, the web is picking the Packers. For more on all of these stories and all your tech headlines, check out the technology page of abcnews.com. That's all the Money Matters for now. I'm Stephanie Tsai in New York. Stay tuned for more news that's good to know. Thanks for watching.